A benefit of video games is that they offer you a relaxing experience. Even highly stressful survival games can remind you that your life isn't so bad. At least you have food and drink, are sheltered from local wildlife and extreme weather, have access to medical care and oxygen to breathe, as well as being safe from zombies. Possibly the least intense survival game available though is Astroneer, which combines being an astronaut together with a space engineer. It was described by reviewers to be a more casual survival game, with a greater emphasis on the game's atmosphere, exploration, and creative elements, rather than just trying to continue existing. So let's take a look at how Astroneer is a survival game that is uncharacteristically super chill. There aren't really any spoilers, but beware of some minor ones for the game from here on out. Astroneer takes place during an age of discovery in the 25th century, where you take on the role of an aerospace engineer. At the start of a new game, your astronaut character gets ejected in a pod from an orbiting space station down onto an uncolonised planet. Upon landing, you have very little to help you get a colony built, other than the spacesuit on your back, as well as a small starting shelter and landing pad. Luckily though, this is all you need to get started. Astroneer being a sandbox adventure game, it is at this point where you are free to play the game however you would like. But in case new players are completely out of their depth, there are missions available which will act as a tutorial to guide you in the right direction. You will likely want to rush straight out into the brightly coloured and vibrant environments in search of resources and materials. However, wandering too far from the landing site, you will quickly realise you only have a limited supply of oxygen. In fact, managing your oxygen so that your character doesn't suffocate and die is the only major survival element implemented in the game. Even with this, the survival challenge is essentially minimal, as there are many ways to boost your supply. For example, a core aspect of the game is placing down a chain of connecting oxygen tethers. But this isn't just out of annoyance to get oxygen, as they also provide power as well as a navigation trail, which prevents you from getting lost while exploring. It's even completely possible to negate oxygen as an issue entirely by equipping both a portable oxygen generator and a miniature power reactor. The backpack also makes Astroneer unique, as it means your inventory is always visible to you and not hidden in a menu. Its inbuilt small printer also allows you to craft items you frequently run out of, without the inconvenience of returning to your base. Collecting resources is also in the player's favour, which is in contrast to other survival games. It's not only easy to find them, but they exist in plentiful supplies, and you are usually more limited by how much you can carry, rather than how much there is to gather. Unlocking new craftable items in the game is also streamlined. While exploring, you will frequently encounter research items, from plants to minerals to technologies. You simply collect them, convert them into research points, and then spend them on any item you want. The brilliance of Astroneer's approach to survival gameplay is that it takes every element and makes it into something that is not stressful. This allows players to instead focus on the more fun aspects of the genre, such as exploration and building a base. Your main objective in Astroneer is to build a thriving space colony, and eventually make these barren planets feel like home. However, there are several different considerations that you need to account for, and you will ultimately have to build from the ground up. The first things you need to set up are power generators, required to use the resource crafters, as well as the object printers. This is also how you plan the initial layout of your base, as you have to connect everything through wires. You also have to consider that not all power generators are created equal, with solar and wind being dependent on the planet's conditions. But like a real engineer, you can solve this issue by adding storage batteries and nuclear RTGs to your power grid. Inventory management is also a significant challenge, because there are over 40 different resources, but you can design a well-organized storage system that allows you to fully embrace being a hoarder. Astroneer also features some more advanced automation concepts, with power repeaters and sensors which allow players to get creative. A basic example includes using auto arms to transfer items automatically into storage to save you from the organizational hassle. Using them together with the game's recreational items and cooperative play can also lead to incredibly satisfying results. It's possible to set up a whole football field, or outline a course for tractor racing. Or combine both and recreate a different game entirely. The game additionally has several vehicles, which aid in both exploration and transporting resources around. The larger rovers can even essentially act as customizable mobile bases, to again make exploration that little bit less tedious. Once you have established multiple bases, you can even permanently connect different areas of the planet with an entire railway system. This can then smoothly transition into a spaceport with multiple space shuttle landing pads for effortless interplanetary travel. Subsequently, the creative crafting and base building gameplay in Astroneer doesn't disappoint. This is achieved because the game places an emphasis on improving quality of life and minimizing annoyances over everything else. The main way you interact with the world of Astroneer is by using your character's terrain tool, which is a 2-in-1 terraforming and resource collecting device. However, simply mining the ground, leaving random holes everywhere, is only the beginning of its power. The visual design of the game largely comes from voxels, the grid of shapes in 3-dimensional space that make up the ground. The game implements this partially through procedural generation, which allows you to freely shape the entire sandbox world. Initially, your terrain tool has 3 simple settings. Excavate allows you to dig holes while filling up soil containers. Elevate allows you to use soil to raise the ground. Lastly, flatten is used to smooth out terrain and tidy up the damage you probably caused. Mastering these modes is key to exploring planets, where you can use them to build bridges over canyons and get your vehicles unstuck. You will also need to build ramps and walls underground to find the rare resources nearer to the planet's core. Several augments can also be crafted and attached to your terrain tool, which affects how it operates. While some adjust the terraforming radius, others are more cosmetic and allow you to flatten the ground, as well as customize its colour. You can even use vehicles to take terraforming to an industrial level. You can attach drill equipment to the front which will easily tunnel through hills and carve out cave systems. There is even a paver attachment which you can use to easily create roads. Astroneer's terraforming capabilities allow you to edit a whole planet to create whatever you would like. While this can be practical and help you to expand your colony, it also gives you the freedom to create natural features and even entire mountains. Astroneer provides a unique take on science fiction colony building games through its approach to survival gameplay that aims to make it less stressful. Rather than constantly have the player desperately trying to survive through a lack of resources, it instead shifts the focus from just surviving towards actually thriving. This allows players to spend more time enjoying exploring and terraforming planets, as well as designing and creating outpost bases.